Hey everyone, welcome to another Monday devotion with Dee. I used to always worry about what people thought of me and would try so hard to live by society's standards. Then I realized that I was created to be different, and regardless of what I did, I would never fit in. So I decided to follow my dreams instead. Join me on this journey as I grow in my faith, go through the ups and downs of pharmacy school, and most importantly, being God's masterpiece. So in this video, I want to talk about the importance of self-awareness. We all fail, we all struggle, we all have areas in our life that we can do better in and improve. I know I do in a lot of areas. God really worked on my heart in this, and it has been the most difficult yet beautiful experiences I've had. I've actually seen moments where I humbled myself. So I feel like one of the hardest things to hear from someone is saying, oh, you should probably work on this about you, or someone addressing certain things about you that might not be so pleasant, or when God shows you some things about yourself that you're like, ooh, I really don't like that. And sometimes it's really hard to take that in. It's hard to, hear that from someone, or it's hard to even grasp that when God brings that to your attention, because you're just like, oh, I don't like this about myself. But it's a good thing. It's something that you can work on. When you constantly examine yourself, when you constantly kind of just take a step back and change your perspective to think about certain areas that you fail in, or certain areas that are not that great, or certain areas where you know you can improve, that's good, because you will then improve on that. If you know you struggle with having an attitude problem and that is brought to your attention, God brings that to your attention, or if he humbles you, whether it be in a sermon or a message or whatever situation that happens to help bring that to your attention. I know we live in a society that is very fast-paced and we want changes immediately, but you have to understand that being self-aware is a great first step. A lot of people haven't even come to that step yet. So being self-aware is really great, because once you get to that point of realizing your shortcomings, realizing, an area that you can improve in your life, that's when you can take steps further to help make it better. And I know it can be very hard sometimes to hear, especially when other people are telling you something about yourself. And one thing I would say about that, if you feel really uncomfortable about something someone said about you, and you're just like, I really don't feel like that's an issue, bring it to God, and he will show you if that is something that you need to work on. This can really help mold you into the person that God has called you to be. We each have a purpose and a plan. I know sometimes being self-aware can be scary, because you learn some things about yourself that you don't even like, but that's a start, and that's how you can improve on it, and that's how you can become a better person. It's hard to change, it's hard to grow if you don't even understand what's holding you back from growing. Once you begin to realize your shortcomings, once you begin to realize some of the areas that you struggle in, you can really take active steps to work on that. You can really try to do better. And one of the verses that I love and that I want to refer to is Matthew 7. I really like this verse because I think it can relate to a lot of us now. Especially with the age of social media, I feel like this verse is very relevant. And it's Matthew 7 verse 3. And why worry about a speck in your friend's eye when you have a log in your own? How can you think of saying to your friend, let me help you get rid of that speck in your eye, when you can't see past the log in your own eye? Hypocrite, first get rid of the log in your own eye, then you will see well enough to deal with the speck in your friend's eye. I love that verse because it is so true. A lot of times we like to pinpoint and we like to point our fingers at what everyone else is doing wrong. And we're not even taking the time to reflect. We're not taking the time to think about areas that we can improve in our life. Now, I'm not saying letting others know about certain things that they could improve on is a bad thing. Of course not. But what this verse is really trying to get at is stop focusing on what everyone else is doing, because you can't even help someone else if you're not even helping yourself. If you're not even focused on trying to fix the things that you struggle with in your life, then how can you even tell someone else that they need to fix something that they are struggling with or that they need to improve on? If I'm not dealing with certain things that need to be dealt with, it's really hard to tell someone else that they need to do the same. In this age of social media where we find it so easy to tell people about themselves, especially with the new year coming, everyone has new goals, everyone has new plans. So let's take this time to just take a step back and just reflect and allow God to truly show us things that we really need to work on. He is our good Father. He has good things planned for us, and He's constantly shaping and molding us towards that purpose and that plan. You know, we're in new seasons in our life, and so that requires shifts in our mindset, that requires different perspective, that requires different things, and God is trying to do that in our lives. So are you taking the time to actually listen, reflect, and change? So I really just want to encourage you to just take the time to self-reflect, to think about certain areas in your life that you know you need to work on, areas that you've been ignoring for a really long time that you haven't talked to anyone about. Yes, I'm talking about that. You know exactly what that area is, and I just want to encourage you to bring it to God and ask Him to show you how to go about dealing with it. Pray and ask Him, like, God, you know what, I realize that I struggle with this. Help me get through this. And He will. It's not gonna be easy, but He will. When I realized that I struggle with correction, I was put in so many different situations where I had to learn how to humble myself and to take correction and not look at it as a bad thing, but look at it as a person trying to help me. And that has been the most beautiful thing I've done, because it helped me to grow and improve on my skills. I love it now. Like, I'm always like seeking correction. I'm like, okay, so do you think this is good? I was thinking about this. I want your opinion. Like, that's how I am now. And I wouldn't be at this point if I didn't take the time to reflect and listen to what God was trying to tell me about myself. I know it's a little uncomfortable and it's awkward and it's weird, but ignoring it does not help. It does not help us to grow. And so I just really hope that you are encouraged to take the time and self-reflect. And don't just do this one time and be done, but daily, a daily reflection. And that's why I love to journal, because it really helps to show my progression. It really helps to show my growth, and I love it. So, you know, constantly, like, think to yourself, you know, how can I grow? How can I be a better Christian? How can I show love more? What are some areas that are stopping me from showing love? What are some areas that I struggle with? What are some areas that need to be adjusted? You know, and that's not a bad thing. It's a beautiful thing when we embrace it and when we take the time to be self-aware and take the time to improve ourselves and do better. So I hope that this video was helpful. I hope you are encouraged to take some time to just self-reflect and think about areas in your life that you can improve on and start taking the necessary steps to do so. So y'all already know the deal. You can comment below or you can email me at behismasterpiece@gmail.com. Go out, be kind, be caring, be loving, do some self-reflection. And as always, be His masterpiece. Bye, y'all.